How's everyone doing today? Today's video is going to be pretty quick. I would like to keep it down to like 10 minutes maybe, to discuss the differences between lethal, less lethal, and less than lethal, also known as non-lethal. Because there seems to be this common misconception that less lethal doesn't work. And I get this a lot on the videos that I do. I get this a lot on the comment sections that, these things don't work, yada, yada, yada. Everyone has their own opinion, and that's perfectly fine. This is a free country, and you have that right to your own opinion. Now, on the question of whether these work or not, well, that's up for debate. And we can have that debate. And I have three categories here. Like I said, I have lethal. While this is some of my archery equipment, I am using that instead of a firearm, because YouTube has this thing. I don't know. So I'm just going to use my archery equipment, which this one and that one can be lethal. Shot placement. Not only that, this is a 207 feet per second. It's a 130-pound limb, and it can shoot up to 270 FPS with a 200 grain bolt. And I have done the math on this one, and you can take down deer with that one right there. This one is an 80-pound limb, shoots up to 195-ish. Depends on who you ask and what bolt you're using, because there is a lot of bolts that can be used with this, different grain, different weights. So it depends, but there is a video of Keith Warren using this little thing right here with hunting bolts taking down hogs, which is medium game depending on who you ask. So these two can be lethal. I have these two out here. That's my FSC. This is my Detentment 98 custom converted to a Blizzard kit to accept mag fed. These are 20 rounds, 20 round mags. I haven't done the stock through with the HPA tank yet, but I will be doing that sometime in the future. I'm not going to say the near future because I have no idea. But these are my less lethals. This has been upgraded pretty much. It looks basic, but it has been upgraded. The O-rings, it has been tuned. I have all different types of barrels, but this one today has the 5.12, I think it is. Lapco 686 barrel with the 12 gram magazine that holds 8 rounds, with the Instinct Industries sleeve. So it has been upgraded and tuned. This one, all the internals, you can go back onto my channel and watch all the videos. This one, all the internals have been upgraded. All the springs have been upgraded. The rear hammer spring has been shimmed and also upgraded. So this one is shooting at about 353, but it stays consistent, 345-ish, 347-ish, with a 20 round magazine, 4 gram riot balls. This one, I have not chronographed yet. I remember it's been a couple months since I've shot these two, but the last time I shot, well, actually, let me rephrase that. It's been a couple months that I shot this one. This one I chronoed not too long ago. Sorry about that. That was my mistake. This one I haven't shot in about 6 months. I did clean it a couple weeks ago to do a chronograph, but this one is shooting roughly about 309, something like that. I can't really remember because it's been a long time. But that was with the 6-shot magazine, the regular magazine with the 8-gram CO2. So now that I got a couple of these, I'm gonna continue to tune it up to shoot the 8 rounds, and then these are less than lethal. There's where your difference is. Like I said, these are the 3 classes. This is my wife's. I just pulled it out of her purse real quick just to have 2 different less non-lethals, so to speak. This is mine. This is on a retractable cord or retractable string, and I do attach this to my belt. So like that, I can just, you know, if you ever need it, you just and it goes right back to its place. And this is my wife's. Like I said, this has I think 30,000 volts capacity or output. So that's hers. I used to have one of those, but I gave it to my sister-in-law. She works in security, so she wanted something, so I just gave it to her. So let's go, obviously, through the differences. Lethal, meaning there's the possibility that you can kill someone. The possibilities are greater than these. Less lethals. Just because it says less lethal doesn't mean that it doesn't have the possibility of killing someone. So I just want to reference some stuff that when you tune these, you're shooting riot balls out of them. You now have yourself a riot gun. It's no longer a paintball marker. It is a riot gun. So here's a couple of photos. All right. You can Google it, whatever search engine you use. Here's a couple photos, so for people that think that they won't do anything. You know. There you go. You can see that they cause damage. You know. Just because they say less lethal doesn't mean they can't be lethal. Okay? Now, so I know some people is going to say, hey, they use different launchers. Yes. Some of them do. But if you look at what the cops use, the majority of the time is going to be this one. This is a Detentment 98 custom. Okay? This one, if I'm not mistaken, is what's that called? The T 9.1, if I'm not mistaken. Just rebranded. This one, the Pepperball TCP. It's that one, just rebranded. You know, so they use the same markers they use. They're just rebranded and tuned up. Same thing that we're doing with these. They're just tuned up. So there's really no difference between these and the ones that cops use. The only difference really is that they use these, but they also have a backup weapon. They have a backup lethal weapon. Okay, so then you have these, your non-lethals, or less than lethal. This is your typical pepper spray, typical stun gun. What else? What else do they have in the non-lethal? Maybe some batons. I would say folding knives, but that can possibly be lethal. So I can't throw knives into the non-lethal portions because knives kill. So it can be categorized as maybe a less lethal, but it's definitely a lethal category, in the lethal category. So I just wanted to clear that up, that just because we call it less lethal doesn't mean that it won't do anything. These can take down someone. Not to mention that these, I'm going to use the Detentment 98 as a reference. This is a 20-round magazine. I use the 90 gram just to keep the weight down. I use a 90-gram CO2. That 90-gram CO2 is going to shoot 4 of these magazines, 20-round magazines, consistently at 345, 247, not 200, 345 to 347 FPS with a 4-gram riot ball. Now, can you imagine getting shot with 20, a full magazine of 4-gram riot balls at that speed? That's going to hurt. Now, imagine if I have 4 of these. I have a whole bunch of these. I got about 10 of them. But imagine having 4 full magazines of 4-gram riot balls that I can shoot at you at 345 feet per second. That is going to do some damage. It is going to hurt. Now, let's say you use, I can't say this one because you're not gonna carry this around. Let's say you use this as an everyday carry, at EDC, right? My advice is couple this. You're gonna use 3 things, and this is just my advice and my opinion. You can use this, carry this with this, and a folding knife. And you have yourself there a nice little package that you can defend yourself. And I do want to talk about self-defense in a couple seconds. But right there with those 3 things, I don't have a folding knife on me. I have one in my room, but I'm not going to go get it. Those 3 things, you can definitely defend yourself with this, and a folding knife. Why? Let's say someone is attacking you. And mind you, everything here, well, 2 of the 3 things is for distance, to keep your distance. In self-defense, you want to keep your distance. And that's why I tell my wife all the time, I don't like her carrying this, because this is an up-close and personal thing. You have to physically touch someone to use this. That's why I do not like her carrying this. Now, given she has one of these, she has a folding knife, and some other stuff that she carries every day. But distance is key in self-defense. You always want to keep your distance. This is where this comes in. You don't want to pull that out. Spray somebody in the face with this. I guarantee you that's gonna burn. And if you run into the chance where this is that 1 out of 10 situation where that doesn't work, because this 9 times out of 10 is gonna work. And that's my opinion. I don't know the statistics of that. I'll look it up. If someone can correct me in the comment section. But 8 times out of 10, this is going to work. Definitely. This is going to work. So for those 2 times that it might not work, that's where you got this. You can use that. This at 309 to 340, because I do know that I did order it as well. Grimberg has a barrel for the Jewel V2s, which I ordered, is coming in. That you can, with this magazine, with these magazines, the 12-gram CO2s, you can possibly push 340, 345, somewhere around there. Less Lethal 777 did a video on that not too long ago. You can check his video out. And that's with 8-gram riot balls, or 8-gram Grimberg rounds. The Jewel Grimberg rounds at 340 feet per second. You're going to hurt someone with that. I guarantee you that. So this, and if worse comes to worse, you got a folding knife, use it. The key with self-defense is defending yourself. You're not a police officer. You know, I hear people saying, that's not going to work because yada, yada, yada. Whatever. Listen, you're not a police officer. You're not trying to detain someone. You're trying to deter the person, or you're trying to be able to get away from the person. So these are more than capable of doing that job, to giving you the time, the distance to get away. You know what I mean? So that is the difference. when it comes to police officers. They're trying to use these to detain someone. You as a civilian are going to use these to get away, or for the assailant to get away, to run away. That's the difference. Key points, because there's a lot of misconception out there with these. You know what I mean? So, like I said, if you're gonna, and I'm gonna end this video right here. Well, just by saying this, like I said, carry these 3 things on you every day. One of these, if you use this, by the way. If not, like I always say, if you have the means to get yourself a boomstick, get it. Get the firearm, because that's going to be your best option. Okay? Get the firearm. Now, I'm not saying that just because you bought a firearm that you're going to be able to defend yourself. Yes, you will be able to defend yourself. Your odds go up of defending yourself. But you got to remember, you have to go through training. You have to get training. You have to learn how to shoot. You can't just buy a gun and assume that you're going to be able to protect yourself or defend yourself. Because why? There's plenty of people that have gunfights every single day, and one of them is going to die, or one of them is going to get hurt, because you need the training. You need the training in order to properly defend yourself. You know what I mean? That's how come a lot of us always push. If you use these for self-defense, use them, train with them, shoot them, clean them, maintain them, because that's going to be your best bet. You know, so with that, I'll leave it at that, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.